Wisconsin, and the world. This is TMJ4 News at 10.
Right now at 10, flirting with a mistrial, an explosive day in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse.
I didn't intend to kill them. I intended to stop the people who were attacking me.
And an Amazon driver lucky to be alive tonight.
And then I looked out the window and I saw that there was a half of a van, Amazon van, in the middle of the road.
Hear from the passengers on the Amtrak train after it collided with that Amazon van.
First, we are following some breaking news tonight out of Brown Deer. 2 people found dead in a home near Meadowside Court and Dean Road.
Our Tony Atkins live on the scene right now. What can you tell us at this hour, Tony?
Shannon, this investigation is still so fresh. Police say they know who they could possibly be looking for, but they say 2 people were killed in a home on the block right behind me. I just want to give you a look on the scene here. This is a live look at what's going on right now. When we first made the scene here, we saw a number of people crying and mourning, just trying to figure out exactly what happened. Again, police say 2 victims in this shooting. And again, this investigation is so fresh that they have yet to call the medical examiner's office, and they plan to do that very soon. A person living in this area says the shooting happened at a property on this block, a duplex. We're still waiting to hear more from Brown Deer Police. Right now, they say this was not an officer-involved shooting, and they say at this point there's no threat to the public, and they are still looking for the suspects in this deadly double homicide. So as soon as we get more information, we'll be sure to continue to update the story. For now, I'm reporting live in Brown Deer. Tony Atkins, TMJ4 News.
All right, Tony, the latest on this, of course, tomorrow on TMJ4 News Today.
Now, for the first time today, Kyle Rittenhouse laid out what he says happened that late August night when he shot 3 men in Kenosha, killing 2 of them.
Rittenhouse said he was in fear for his life when he fired his rifle. On cross-examination, prosecutors painted him as the aggressor. This case did take a turn when Rittenhouse's attorneys asked the judge for a mistrial.
Tom Durian leading our coverage tonight from Kenosha County Courthouse to walk us through all that happened today.
Yeah, Shannon and Steve, Kyle Rittenhouse spent most of the day on the witness stand, much of that under cross-examination. And it was only moments into that cross-examination that questions by the prosecutors prompted a fiery exchange between the judge and the state's attorneys.
I was astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that.
With the jury on a break outside the courtroom, Judge Bruce Schrader admonishes prosecutor Thomas Binger just moments after he started questioning Kyle Rittenhouse, focusing on the defendant's interviews after his arrest.
So I don't want to have another issue as long as this case continues. Is that clear? It is.
The line of questioning prompted the defense to ask for a mistrial, which the judge has not ruled on. Much of Wednesday's testimony came from Kyle Rittenhouse himself. When his attorneys asked him to retrace his steps that night, Rittenhouse became emotional.
Take a deep breath, Kyle.
The jury was excused and Rittenhouse regained composure. Once testimony continued, defense attorneys continued their line of questioning, where Rittenhouse categorized his actions as self-defense. Both sides questioned Rittenhouse about each shooting.
From me to where the judge is, coming at me with his arms out in front of him, I remember his hand on the barrel of my gun.
First, Joseph Rosenbaum, then Anthony Huber and Gage Grosskreutz.
He grabs my gun and I can feel it pulling away from me, and I can feel the strap starting to come off my body.
Prosecutors focused on Rittenhouse's intentional use of deadly force, first with Rosenbaum.
I never wanted to shoot Mr. Rosenbaum.
Why'd you point it at him if you didn't have any intention of shooting?
He was chasing me. I was alone. He threatened to kill me earlier in that night. I didn't want to have to shoot him.
And later with Anthony Huber.
Then why are you shooting at someone with an AR-15 at close range if you don't want to kill him?
Because he's attacking me and he's stomping my face in.
Everybody that you shot at that night you intended to kill, correct?
I didn't intend to kill them. I intended to stop the people who were attacking me.
So the jury ended their day as soon as Rittenhouse was done on the stand. The defense says they have 3 more witnesses to call, one of them a use of force expert that could put closing arguments in this case on Monday. Reporting live in Kenosha, Tom Durian, TMJ4 News.
Tom, thank you. Well, our legal analyst, who also is a criminal defense attorney, says it is unusual for the defendant to take the stand, but it could be helpful in making a self-defense claim.
Self-defense cases often lend themselves to the need for the defendant to testify, because what's so important in a self-defense case is establishing that the defendant believed that he really didn't have a choice other than to use the force that he used.
A crowd of about 30 gathered tonight in Kenosha in honor of the 2 men killed by Rittenhouse, Anthony Huber and Joseph Rosenbaum.
Need justice now! Need justice now! Need justice now! Need justice now!
That march was led by Justin Blake, Jacob Blake's uncle. The police shooting of Jacob Blake is what sparked all the riots in Kenosha in the first place, and that is where Rittenhouse shot those 3 people. This trial is expected to wrap by the end of this week. Download the free TMJ4 News app to watch live streaming coverage and have an alert sent to your phone as soon as we have a verdict.
Turning it over now to Brian Goddard with a look at our chilly forecast.
Yeah, and it's going to be rainy as well. It's not all that chilly right now. Temperatures are still in the 50s, but the wind has cranked up this evening as that storm system is getting closer to us. Notice the pavement is dry. There have been a very few isolated rain showers this evening. Everything has basically been to the north and west. Look at the heavy rain coming out of Iowa, going in towards La Crosse and the western part of the state. But this is also all working in our direction and will be here by the morning commute. The wind, as I mentioned, has cranked up. It's out of the southeast at 20 to 35 miles per hour. We'll have gusts tonight approaching 40, and that'll continue into the morning hours tomorrow as well. And as I mentioned, just a slight chance of some showers between now and about 5 a.m. And then just in time for the morning commute or dropping the kids off to school, it'll be rain. We'll talk about that chilly air moving in coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Brian. New video shows a delivery driver torn in half by a train. That's the truck, I should say. The front half left sitting right there at a Jefferson County Railroad crossing. Amazing. Amazing. The driver was not seriously hurt.
That crash happened this afternoon. It was the town of Ixonia. An Amazon truck versus an Amtrak train. The train's the winner. Taylor Lumpkin spoke with a witness who rushed to help and passengers on that train.
Emergency crews are now working to find out exactly what happened after an Amtrak train collided with an Amazon van here in Ixonia, leaving one driver lucky to be alive. For Ben Belloc, it was a typical Wednesday afternoon working from home until he heard what he thought was a gunshot ring out just a few feet outside his window.
And then I looked out the window and I saw that there was a half of a van, Amazon van, in the middle of the road.
The other half was wrapped around the front of a nearby train that had come to an emergency stop.
So I grabbed my keys, got in the car, drove down there as quick as I could, expecting to, who knows what I was going to see. I look around and there's the guy was in the front seat and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah."
The driver of the van was taken to a local hospital as precaution. Amtrak says all 129 passengers and 12 crew members on board the train are all okay. Pam Avery and her daughter Tara were on their first train ride ever, on their way to Milwaukee to visit family.
We were going along really well, and all of a sudden we felt a bump, and then another little bump, and then we heard the brakes go on.
When stuff was happening, they let us know, so I didn't feel like we were in the dark.
And after a delay of about 4 hours, the train was back on its way. In Ixonia, Taylor Lumpkin, TMJ4 News.
Next on TMJ4 News at 10, an eye for an eye, an increase in retaliatory shootings in Milwaukee.
I can't remember a circumstance or a time where this many shootings have been linked together in such a short amount of time.
How local organizations are fighting back.
And later, a manhunt continues tonight for a man who escaped from authorities at the airport. The mistake police say may have helped him escape.
New at 10, a war on the streets of Milwaukee. Groups of people targeting each other, including teenagers.
16 teens have been killed so far in 2021. 19 were killed all of last year. What's to blame? The I-Team's Sean Gallagher found that in many cases, it's retaliation.
4 people were gunned down outside that gas station. 2 of them are